Indeed. Not sure they're allowed ketchup though these days, Thomas. Are they, these Premier League players? Just a little bit now and again.
A tiny bit, yeah.
Yeah, but he's allowed a celebration tonight because at 32 games for somebody of his abilities, and I know you love stats, is an extraordinary stat, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yes, and he's had a hard season with injury worries, and he's looked as if he's had injury problems. Actually, I think he's taken his time to get back. I thought in the first half he wasn't at his best either. So to get a couple of goals and to get that little bit of, enjoyment back and that bit of confidence, I think it'll really help him because he was a superstar player for Liverpool last year and the year before when he joined. But injuries do happen and injuries curtail people at times, and it does take people a long time to get back to full fitness, and especially when the team is not playing as well as they have done. So I'm thrilled a bit personally for him.
Yeah, you were saying that yesterday, weren't you? You never felt right the first 3, 4, 5 games after a long injury.
No, I marvel at some people that bounce back straight from injuries. They can be out for 2, 3 months and all of a sudden they play their first game back and they're just like they've never been away. Used to take me 3 or 4 games to feel as if my touch was like really back to where it should be. I just felt a little bit out of sync for 2 or 3 games. So, and as Mac has said, Jota's probably looked like that as well throughout the season. Everybody's different, but no, hopefully that gives him the confidence now in his body and his mind to now kick on.
Well, 2 very confident finishes from him in the second half, weren't they, Thomas?
Definitely. Just talked about that. The first one is it looks easy, and I think Miles maybe came up so. The ankle was good for him to bend it around him, but you still need to put it in there, and that perfectly weighted finish, I think, is key.
Yeah, I think less is more in this situation. You don't need to hit it hard because you're wanting the goalkeeper to go down. You know you're going to lift it high and wide, so you take the weight off, if anything, and that gives you more of the goal to hit. If he hits this hard now, he hits it straight into the goalkeeper. So you need to almost float it and take your time and let the goalkeeper dive out the way in many ways. So lovely goal. Do you know, it was as long as you pick the right finish there, it's actually quite an easy finish. But the hard thing is choosing the right one. This was a little bit scruffy.
It comes off the bottom of his shin, stroke foot, doesn't it? What I would say is that Liverpool kept the ball for 20, 30 passes before this final, shot by Jota and goal. And it was a brilliant goal. Liverpool scored wonderful goals this evening, which was nice to see. Listen, we can dissect Leeds and what they should have done, and we'll be here till tomorrow evening discussing what they should have done and who should have ran and closed down. But let's marvel on Liverpool keeping the ball and scoring really nice goals, because a lot of them, they were back to the best. Breaking quickly. Every time they broke from, a defensive corner or a free kick, they looked as if they were going to score. They were back to that red arrows, just flying forward, looking really dangerous.
We talked about before that Liverpool, when they are at best, is when there's a little bit of space to run into and they can this half transition after a counter press, or when they're winning on the edge of their own box and then they're going forward. And I think we scored 4 goals in transitions. And when Liverpool does that, then they're untouchable.
And we're talking about Diaz back tonight, which is a great boost, 14 minutes he got. But Jota, as Maka says, was a really important player when he was flying. He could, between now and the end of the season, be like a new signing in that.
Yeah,
form.
Well, Liverpool have got some fine attacking players at the moment. Yes, people hark back to what they had a few years ago, but now they've got a variation of a lot of players, and a lot of them scored tonight as well, got on the goal sheet, which is always a benefit when your attacking players get on the goal scoring sheet.
Absolutely, and one of those, Cody Gakpo, who opened the scoring, is waiting to talk live to us now at Ellen Road. Cody, thanks for joining us. Well done as a team, well done personally with your goal. That was pretty clinical in the second half.
Yes, I think it was not a good start of the second half, but after the goal we conceded, we did it really well, and we just kept going.
Cody, there's such a variety of attacking players now in that Liverpool squad, and you can play in 1 or 2 positions in that front line as well, and maybe even a little bit deeper, but you're playing more central this season. Do you like it there?
Yes, it was. I had to adapt in the beginning to this because I was used to play on the left. But I like it there. I get in some spaces that I can turn in the middle and then drive forward, breaking the lines, and I like it.
What about your goal tonight? I mean, Trent Alexander-Arnold loves being in that situation, doesn't he?
Yeah, it was a good cross from him, and it was a good tap in from me. So really nice.
Here's his assist. You can see it now.
Yeah, good cross, and I didn't have to do that much, but always nice to get these goals.
Yeah, would have been disappointed if you missed that one, my friend. But
yes.
I was just noticing as well on one of the other goals, actually, that Jota's second goal. I noticed that even though you were in a central position, you were still making that run into the 6-yard box, which actually freed up the space for Jota. And I think I like to see that from a centre forward, always getting in those positions. Because if you're not going to, in that situation, you scored the goal, but sometimes it'll get pulled back for the on-running midfielder as well.
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to make the runs for somebody else and open up spaces, and that's what we try to do in training. And that's what I have to do sometimes as a forward, just to run in the 6-yard box and open up space for somebody else. And today it works out, and Jota scored a great goal.
Cody, it's Macca. That performance reminded me a lot of the Manchester United performance. How important it is now to take it forward and be more consistent. Not just you, the team.
Yes, I think it's the most important thing now that we enjoy the win, of course, but that we still keep focused to put another good performance on in the next game, and not be satisfied with this one and keep going because we have still a lot to play for, and we have to just try to win every match.
Very well done tonight. Thanks very much indeed for joining us,
well done,
Cody.
mate. Well done.
Thank you very much.
He opened the scoring. Let's just remind everyone of the law and clear up, because again, Leeds fans were probably screaming, saying, well, that was handball against Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, and if the referee blows his whistle and says handball, then I don't think any of us are going to be sat here and say, oh, it was a terrible decision. I mean, but I do think it was ball to hand. I don't think there was any intention whatsoever for Trent Alexander-Arnold to handball it. It bounces straight into his arm, and off they go. And of course, we know the rules as well, that because it wasn't the goal scorer that the ball came off the hand and it wasn't direct goal from it, then even if he assists, it's absolutely fine. So I think the referee and I think VAR were right to allow it.
Yeah, VAR checked it, deemed it not deliberate, Michael.
Yes, and I think we all agree with that. As Michael said, if the referee deemed that it was handball in normal play, fine, we'll have no qualms about that. But once the ball goes in the back of the net, VAR will not get involved in that, and they shouldn't get involved either when there's a passage of play, and as Michael said, it didn't influence the goal straight off, did it? 2 for Jota, 2 for Salah as well, Thomas. As we showed in the first half, Leeds didn't help themselves at times tonight.
No, they didn't. I think 2 great goals in general from Salah. I think the first one here is a great finish. We talked about it a bit earlier that Jota, he doesn't set him up perfectly, but in the end it's perfect for his left foot where he can bend it around the keeper. So I think it's a classic top quality finish from Salah. And again, we see one of the counter attacks here where it's 3-3. Can't do that against Liverpool.
Yeah, and we mentioned it at half time. The Strauch should have come across to let the ball run inside of Salah without him getting a tackle away. Was really disappointing. It looked strange when it happened. So you wonder why it did happen. Why didn't he just follow Salah across the pitch and usher him out? But as you see Jurgen's reaction here. But his next goal was another brilliant goal, wasn't it? It was an individual move, and this is the one that Thomas really liked, how Liverpool break from here.
Yeah, definitely. You see that the pace and the runs going forward. I think they're playing 5 versus 4 now. This ball in from Robertson is fantastic. Gakpo's ball, composure to Salah, and a great finish. That's a top goal.
I mean, again, you can pick holes in him. You see Mark Rocker, the number 8 in the centre, just slows down, jog. Look at Robertson, he's off. Yeah. And Rocker stutters again, and then he decides to run. It's too late.
And maybe
Gakpo's
he would
have
got down
he would have got Gakpo.
Yeah.
But again, you don't want to, I don't want to go too harsh on Leeds. They'd gone at this stage and they were all over the place, and everybody was culpable at some stage across the pitch. But Liverpool were devastating breaking forward.
Yep, 26 for the season for Mo Salah. 9 in 6 now in his career against Leeds. Big smiles all round. Jurgen Klopp, one of them. He's had some difficult days away from home this season. Let's see how he's feeling after that 6-1 win at Ellen Road.
Jurgen, a seriously impressive display. What pleased you most about it?
Oh, I don't know where to start. The whole game was brilliant. A couple of tough moments where we had to I think it's especially Aronson's shot in the second half after we conceded an unnecessary goal, but these kind of things can happen. But apart from that, we were super in control of the game. We played brilliant, calm. Counter-pressing was the best for ages. Loved it. Favorite situation of the game is 92nd minute. We lose a ball and 4 players chase the poor boy from Leeds on the ball down, and that's absolutely fantastic. So, we were stable today and played good stuff and scored incredible goals.
7 shots, I think, on target, and 6 of them going in and being the goals. I mean, a lot has been talked about away form for you this season, but is that somewhat the blueprint going forwards now?
Yeah, but it's not about. Look, I'm not really not bothered about scoring 6 or whatever. It's not too important. It's about the performance, and the performance was a winning performance. It was clear we have to win the game. I heard now when I came here that there was a few discussions with the ref about the first goal. I'm not sure, but that was not a game Leeds should win. So it was a clear game we should win, and that's what I wanted to see. And again. When we score goals in moments, we know that we are able to do that. Much more important, that it was the best game of the season. That most important is how we defend. And I saw so many hard sprints after we lost the ball to close down. Robbo was not once alone in a 1-1 situation. Trent was not once alone there. Hendo and Curtis closed them down. Both wingers closed them down. We had finally again. We really defended ball orientated. Let our players go there. 2v1 situations, 3v1 situations, like in the 92nd, 4v1 situations where we win the ball. That's it. Then you have the right rhythm. Then you have the right feeling for the game, and then you can play football, and that's what the boys did tonight.
Just a word on Diogo Jota in particular. He's had to wait a long time, I think over a year, to score. He got 2 tonight. You must just be over the moon for him.
Yeah, top and set up the first. So was the first? No, the second. The second goal, I think. Set it up won the ball back and set it then up. Super for Mo. Super game of him. And so much space for improvement. As you can see in moments, the rhythm is not really there. That's not the same what we have to get for Luis and these kind of things. But it's really helpful that the boys are all there. They push each other a lot in training sessions. When you see, okay, if I don't train well, then he can play. That changed everything, to be honest. And now they're finally all back. Hopefully they stay in a team today. Tough decisions for the lineup. The boys on the bench, nobody was really happy because a lot of players would have deserved to start tonight after a long training week. So very comfortable situation for me, probably first time. And now we have to keep going.
With that and the players coming back and the form you're showing at the back end of the Arsenal game and this game in particular, do you feel like there is a chance for a late push for a top 4 place European spot?
Look, for that you always need results of other teams. That's uncomfortable stuff in that. So we have no clue. They might win all the games and we can win all the games and stay still. Was are we now 8 or what? I don't know. No chance to change anything. Brighton is still in front of us, has I think a game less. So there's nothing we really have to be concerned about. We have to play really good football. So and that's what we expect from us, and that's what we have to do, and then we get results. If we get results, we can have a look at the table at the end of the season where we end up. So, but it will go on after that season. There will be another season, and to all the informations we get now, all the not so good informations from the long part of the season and the good ones from now, they are very helpful and we need them, and that's why we should give it a proper try.
Well, many fascinating parts to Jurgen Klopp's reaction there, Thomas, particularly where he's talking about the pressing and the energy in the 92nd minute.
That I think is spot on. I'm pretty sure that's the first clip he will show tomorrow or when they are evaluating the game. I think that's key for the way he wants to play. We spoke about it before the game, that they've lacked energy and intensity in the pressure. They don't press anymore, or we haven't seen it as consistent. Today they were back on it. I think it was spot on in terms of the counter-pressing, intensity, the willingness to run forward, willingness to run towards the ball. I think it was good to see that from you.
And he's talking about the competition for places. We saw Diaz come on, and we saw Núñez, of course, come on with him and get the 6th goal.
Yeah.
And they've got that competition now, all the attacking players scoring.
Well, that's great,
tonight.
isn't it? You know, we've got, Trent's sort of moved from his right-back position inside. Nice finish from Darwin Núñez, because he needs goals as well. He gets chances, doesn't he? He missed a big chance against Arsenal last week. Good run here, lovely ball by Trent again. But as Michael said before, what you've suddenly got lots of competition for places. Trent's now gone into midfield. Thiago's come on. So suddenly they don't look bereft of, midfield players. Yes, they're going to bring a few in because a few are out of contract and will leave. But it doesn't look as bad as it once was feared when you've suddenly got 3 superstar forwards on the bench. You've got a great midfielder who's won everything coming off the bench in the last 10 minutes. You've got Trent maybe going into midfield if need be in certain games. And, that's what you see about his assists. But, a really good night all round.
Decent player in second behind Steven Gerrard.
I definitely got more than that. It must have been before the Premier League started.
The old First Division.
What about the one before the Premier League? I forgot. Football was invented, wasn't it, by the Premier League?
Yeah, moving swiftly on. 50 Premier League assists for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Again, we saw him at times in this role tonight, Michael. Has this got some longevity about it?
Well, lots of people have been yearning for him to be a midfield player, full stop. Obviously, he's playing in a position where he's a right back, but then in possession he'll drift in certain occasions and add numbers into that position. And when he gets in these positions, there's not many players in the world that have got a better array of passing than him. So it could be something that we see more of, yeah. I think Liverpool like to dominate the ball, and when you get that extra midfield player or extra body in the midfield, then you can control possession a lot more.
And when you've got someone as talented as that as a manager, that must be a temptation, Thomas.
I totally agree. I'm sitting and thinking, maybe play him as a right back, but when they're in possession, 6-8, flexible, this is a fantastic assist for Nunez. Play him there against the team they know they will control and dominate, and against the better teams, maybe play him in midfield. I think the future for him could be in the midfield. I understand how they want to play and all that, and he's doing a lot of things. And it's not only we speak a lot. Sometimes you're after Trent, or not me, but a lot of so-called experts that he maybe should defend better. But it's also a little bit down to the way Liverpool play, which we say when they are on top, they are, for me, like today, unplayable. One of the best teams in the world that has shown consistently over the last years. But they're so advanced, there's so big gaps they have to defend. And Jürgen just said it, that today it was not one situation where Robertson and Trent were 1v1. There was always doubling up, always someone down to help. I think that's key as well.
Yeah, some of the criticism's been over the top, haven't they, about Trent? I mean, let's be honest, some of it is ridiculous. But the fact that he has got the ability to move from right into central areas when it's on and when it's free and when there's space, won't happen every game. But the fact that he can go and do that and assist like he has done at such a young age is absolutely incredible.
Jürgen Klopp was asked about the top 4 there. I mean, the craziest this season's been, if Liverpool win the remaining games, could you see a twist? Could you see something happening?
Well, I mean, off the top of my head, I don't know all the other fixtures, but we know that some of the big boys have to play each other. I think Liverpool have played a lot of the top 4, top 5 teams. So they could and should go on a run, but we just don't know, again, what Liverpool we're going to get. Of course, Forest, West Ham, they're favourable. Tottenham's at home. Fulham's at home.
Brentford,
I don't want to...
Brentford's a very difficult game.
The most difficult game they've got, Brentford. The mighty bees turning up at Anfield. But, on
with a tactical genius in the dugout.
With a tactical genius, yeah. But on paper, it looks... they look winnable games, don't they? And but as Jürgen said, who knows what the other teams are going to do against each other?
Yeah, I mean, that is a lovely run-in, isn't it? With all due respect, it's a lovely run-in for them. And if they did win every game, then they're going to get top 4, I fancy. But it's a big if. They're too inconsistent. They have been all season. So why all of a sudden are they going to go and win, 8 or 9 games on the spin? So I can't see it happening. But you could say there's still a little flicker and a little chink of light at the end of the tunnel.
OK, well, the other side of the story, of course, another defeat for Leeds. As I say, they've conceded 16 in their last 4 games alone. Here's the view of Javi Gracia.
Javi, a heavy defeat. Where did it all go wrong for you today?
Yeah, hard to accept the game of today, the result as well. Nothing to say, only we lose the composure during the game. We tried in the beginning. I think maybe the first goal, the goal that opened the game, maybe is coming from handball. But after this result, nothing to say. Only try to improve for the next game because we need it.
You have conceded 11 goals in 2 home games in a row. Are you worried about the impact that could have on the players at such an important time of the season?
Yes, of course. It's something we need to work on it and try to improve, because it's something we didn't do in the previous games, and now we are in the most important part of the season, and we have to be more solid, more compact, and try to defend much better, of course.
Fulham, Leicester, Bournemouth, the next 3 for Leeds. How concerned would you be perhaps of the damage done those last 2 home defeats, the heavy ones?
Yeah, I would be concerned. The beauty of football is the next game, you never know what you got to get. I think you're seeing Leeds the whole season. I think they are very good going forward. We also saw how they started the game. It's when they're getting too open. I think that's the issue. So can he make sure they are more solid? I think that's the absolute key.
Do they have to be Macca, or are they only going one way?
They have to be more solid. I feel sorry for the manager. He's probably worked hard on the training ground after the 1-5 defeat against Palace. But he's just come up against superior opposition. But once you get to 2-1, you don't lose 6 at home. So it's a big defeat tonight for them.
Yeah, it's getting tighter down there, Michael, isn't it?
It is, and their next few games are absolutely vital, aren't they? Winnable games. So, yeah, big couple of weeks for them.
Michael Macca, thanks as always. Thomas, great to have you with us. Thank you very much indeed. Damaging night then for Leeds, their heaviest home Premier League defeat ever. But what a way to respond for Liverpool. 6 of the best from the 4 of us. We'll see you next time. Take care.